Hey, Rebel Gang, how you guys doing today? How are you doing? So, a fun thing is happening in my neighborhood right now. There's a manhunt. So, there's helicopters, there's dogs, there's cops, there's sirens. It's super fun. That's what I got to wake up to this morning, and I hope they find them and everybody can calm down and go back to normal. Like somebody wrecked out in the neighborhood. How crazy is that? All right. So I hope you don't. I say that because it's possible you could hear all this activity going on in the background. So if you hear it, no worries. We're all safe and snug here in the house, and the coppers are doing their job outside. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about taking charge. What does that mean? What does it look like? How do you really take charge of your life? Oftentimes, survivors of abuse go through a healing process, and then at some point, they're told to take charge. Am I even ready for that? Right? Let's dive into that. And look, I know that you have wanted to take charge of your life for a long time, but what does that even fucking mean? So let's dive in. Okay, look, you might get some cussing from me from time to time. Drop me a line below. I'll send you my book. It's got a whole chapter on taking charge. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Contessa Aiken. I like to cuss. I'm an emotional well-being coach, and I've coached close to 1,000 women over the last 15 years to heal their trauma, to calm and tame their nervous system, to empower them to rise up and reinstill self-confidence and self-esteem and take back their lives, take back what was taken from them, which is peace, safety, and trust. And in every video you get from me, you'll get at least one actionable step to reclaim those three things: peace, safety, and trust. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about what it means to take charge, what it looks like, and how you even freaking do it in the first place. All right, let's dive in. So, what does taking charge mean? Taking charge means, imagine you are in the kitchen and you're baking a cake and you're following a recipe, and maybe somebody else comes in and they're like, "Oh, I can do this part for you. I can measure out all the dry ingredients. You do the wet ingredients." And all of a sudden you've taken charge of this. Maybe somebody else comes in and they're like, "You know what? We need to just stop this party and we need to clean up the kitchen and then we'll get our ingredients out." And meanwhile, you just already went in the kitchen and started baking. That's not taking charge, is it? Imagine that in your everyday life. You're running your everyday life, you're going through life. Maybe somebody comes along and they're a little bit critical, or they have an opinion about how you're doing something or what you're doing or what you should be doing. And you veer off course because their opinion maybe matters to you, or maybe it made sense what they had to say. And then now all of a sudden you're basically doing what they said to do versus what it is that you want to do. So step number one of this party is to decide what you want. What do you want? And I don't mean cake. I mean, and we're talking about a few metaphors here to help I clear up the idea for the concept here for you. But what do you really want? If you've listened to any of my videos or listened to my podcast or seen anything from me, I want peace. Oh, even just talking about it. Gosh, I love me some peace. What is it that you want? We can talk safety, trust, love, connection, success. You want beauty. You want to just have ease and happiness, fulfillment, joy. What do you want? Step number one, decide what you want. Step number two, define what that means. So here's a fun thing. Look, we can say, I want peace. So, yes, you guys know I want peace. So that's the example you're going to get from me. So, but what happens is most people, especially survivors, are like, okay, I want peace. And then they just start moving forward in life thinking they're going towards peace, but they haven't even defined it. So what does it even mean? It's like you have a target, right? And you've got a small little dart and you're aiming for peace, but the target is getting smaller and it's getting bigger and maybe it's moving around. So you're shooting and maybe you have a blindfold on. So you can't really figure out where peace is because you haven't defined it for yourself. So peace for me, for example, is breathing space, room to freaking breathe and move and be who and what I want to be. That's right for me. In my environment, there's space. In my heart, there's space. In my soul, there's space. In my words, there's space. And every time I feel constricted or closed off or clamping down, peace is no longer present because there is no space. So that's how I know. I define it for you, for myself, right? So what do you want? Now, how do you define what you want? And now the part where you take charge. So you know what you want. You know what that looks like. Taking charge just means continuing down the path, continuing to throw that dart at that target board, regardless of what anyone says, thinks, does, feels, acts around you. Because let's face it, we've got a whole world around us. Like today, I've got helicopters and canines and coppers. Like I love saying coppers. My husband's a police officer, so it's fun for me to say coppers. But anyway, there's this whole world of chaos that's happening around me, right? And every day in your life, there's a whole world of a whole slew of everything that's happening around you. There's lots of input, there's lots of output, there's lots of people with opinions. And even if you've isolated yourself and you're laying in bed in the dark room, there is still a world happening. You have an acute awareness that there is world and life happening out there around you. And so taking charge just means that you maintain what it is that you want. So it's my job to maintain peace. It's not the world's job to maintain peace. And I maintain peace by creating safety, because I know what peace means to me, around me, so that I have this bubble of peace around me. So it doesn't matter what chaos, where I move around in the world, I'm bringing peace with me. That's what it means. And that's what it looks like to take charge. Are you ready to take charge? Take charge. Drop me a line below. I will send you my book. It has a whole chapter on taking charge, and it has my #1 most effective healing tool that I use with all my clients so that you can heal from childhood trauma. I'm Contessa Aiken. Until next time.